Hey fellow riblets, it's me Tom from Target Prime Rib. Today is, oh my god, I think today is the 7th or 8th of December. I don't really know. So I forgot to bring my selfie stick with me, so it's gonna be like a little bit of a different angle, so I apologize. I am walking right now. My back and legs are in a lot of pain, but I am trying to. I think it's the cold weather, the icy weather and everything. So I'm just going to do the short round around the track, and I'm hoping that things will pick up. I'm doing very well. I'm still waiting on my test results, so well. I will show it to some people, see what their indications are, and then maybe do a video on it. So, I was actually thinking about maybe inviting one of them onto my channel and discussing the lab results, yay or nay, for that matter. It's a journey, and even if it's a nay result, it could be the answers that I'm looking for. One of the things that that was suggested to me was, me and some other people too, but just, not just me, but that not to cut down my fat intake, but to cut down my protein intake. So that could be a cause of my high morning sugars, my fasting my fasting blood sugar. So that being said, and the thing is okay, when I eat, I do kind of like feel like I'm stuffing myself, that I'm not actually eating, Okay, sorry about that, guys. I wanted to, excuse me. I wanted to sit at the next bench. I was starting to get a little sore, and it was getting hard for me to actually hold the phone. So everything is going very well, but I'm thinking of I'm thinking of lessening how much I eat at each meal. Beautiful thing about meat is, even if you make a lot and you don't eat it all, you can always put it aside. So that's what I might do. I might make enough of me feeling like I'm hungry, but if it's been suggested that I cut in half my protein intake, I might, like, instead of for 4 burgers, 1 stick of butter, I might do 2 burgers for 1 stick of butter. So I'm not really gonna, because I think if I eat 2 sticks of butter, that's going to be a problem. If you know what I mean, like flush. But, I might try that, see how that goes. I'm gonna do the 2 meals a day. I'm gonna do a little bit more at my second meal, only so that my body doesn't feel that it's starving at all. So I might do like instead, like 2 burgers in the morning with some eggs, and I might add some extra eggs or something, or add some extra fat, find a way to add extra fat. I will still cook my burgers in the lard, and everything. I'll cook some eggs, but just trying to do whatever we need to do. Another thing that was suggested to me, because I'm always getting tired, like I get sudden bursts of draining energy out of nowhere. And, 2 things I think I might try to do is look for really good blue blockers, because it could be me staring at the computer, because it does seem to be mostly when I'm at the computer that it's happening. So I might get some decent blue blocker glasses. I do have some, and every once in a while when you see me wearing glasses, it's the blue blockers, and I put them on because I am starting to feel a drain, and sometimes when I wear the glasses, sometimes it does wake me up a little bit. So that could be a reason, but also somebody suggested that I incorporate some organ meat, liver or whatever. Even if I just take it, I used to actually take liver and cube it, but it kept on clumping up, so I had to find a way to keep it separated. So I was actually thinking of, somebody suggested those silicone, like candy things you can get at the dollar store, just to put the cubes in there and then separate it with parchment paper. I'm not sure about that. I was thinking about maybe getting those dime store size bags, or actually more than a dime, but you know what I mean. Those are really small bags. They're like about like this big, and to individually put the cubes in there, and I could just reuse them. So I know silicone's probably safer than the bags because of the plastic. The only problem I have is the way my freezer is set up. It'd be hard to put those things in my freezer and also have all the other meats in there too. And I can't, and I promised my roommate that the other freezer is meant for his stuff. So I try not to use the other freezer for his purpose. I know I don't have to do that. I know the both freezers are mine, but it just makes it easier for me to keep our stuff separated. Let me see what else. So hopefully I'll find out what's going on with my blood, and I'll get a lot of answers. I'm going to show it to Dr. Phil because he's the one helping me in some ways. And I promised to show it to Coach Bavery. I'm sorry, Rebecca. I thought I was pronouncing your name right, but I guess I'm not, so I do apologize. And of course, Lewis will see it too. Eventually, all you guys will see it. I am dreading what my A1C is going to be because with everything going on, my sugars have been higher than I'd like them to be, and I know without a doubt that I am back to being type 2 diabetic. That kills me so much. You don't know how much that disappoints me, but we need to figure out what's going on. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. Yes, I admit that every once in a while I'll tell you guys about how I had an Oreo cookie, but I haven't had any kind of treat since I don't know when. And and the thing is even when I did have it, it was one, and then I didn't do anything, and it was because my blood sugars were really, really low. So, and it was like one Oreo cookie, like it wasn't a pack of them, just one, or it was like one nonpareil, or, whatever. Or I might have had a couple pickles here and there, but that should not be affecting me this much. So something is up. Something other than what diet I'm eating is up, and I have a feeling it does have a correlation to do with the pain I get in my leg and, in my side. I don't know what it is, but I think that there is a connection there. So it is very frustrating for me, extremely frustrating for me, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I think, why am I even doing this? Because if I'm not getting the results I need, but then things happen, it's, again, I've mentioned this before, but it's, again, why I do what I do with my channel. Because believe it or not, every single time people come on and they want to be on my show and not just give me support, but also tell their story, it helps me. It gives me the confidence to keep going, and people don't realize that. People don't see that. People, sorry about that. Somebody was coming by and I didn't want to, so I just turned off the camera. Um, people, not everybody sees that. They're thinking like, okay, what's my story going to do? Well, for one, you're inspiring me because you're telling me that you are doing this to help you. And, even if I don't have great results today, even if I don't have great results today, I will tomorrow. And, it's a going back and forth type thing, but you got to keep on trucking. You got to keep on believing. It took years for all these damages to happen to me, decades even, okay? And I am here now. I still want people to be on my show and everything like that. I'm starting to get some cancellations, not anything, pertinent or anything like that, but and I don't know. If you want to, like I always say, if you want to be on my, if you want, I really want people on my channel once a week. It's going to become once a week on Saturdays. There might be some other things I'll do, but I'm not really sure yet, but I still like to do the Saturday interviews. But the thing is, I like people to be on. I like to be able to talk to at least one person. And we go back and forth, and, I just, maybe I'm going around about the wrong way and stuff. Maybe, I don't know. So my next guest is going to be No Carb Barbara Hara. And I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, and soon it's going to be my carniversary, so we're going to have Jen Mann on soon. And I'm thinking about maybe doing just like I did for Thanksgiving, but no worries. I'm not going to be cooking any lard or anything like that. But I don't know, maybe I'll just make a steak or something or nothing. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep on going on the journey. I'm going to keep on, doing suggestions and stuff like that, unless there's something I really think I need to do and I really believe in. I probably will do a fast once I'm done with the training course, or not the training course, but the insulin resistance course that I'm doing, or whatever it is I'm doing. Okay. And learning a little bit more about that and everything. So I'm going to do everything. So I am going to I'm going to cut my protein in half like suggested. And, and keep my fats higher, because I mean, like Sarah Hallberg said, sorry, I almost forgot. I don't have it in front of me. I always have to remember her name. I always forget. I do apologize. It's not that I think Sarah Hallberg is one of the greatest people out there, I guess, but sometimes my memory's not always that great, which is another problem I still have, is brain fog. And lately it's been a little bit worse. But, she never said anything about protein, keeping the sugars from going up. She just said fats keep it from going up. So, the only reason why I worry about doing too much fat is because of my bathroom issues. But if doing some extra fat will help me get healthier, and I do go to the bathroom a lot in the beginning, well, then that's something I just have to do. But, I don't think it's going to actually kill me. Matter of fact, it probably will get rid of the toxins in my body and stuff, is what I'm hoping. But, I have my theories and stuff, and I'm working on, I can't find, so what I might do is I might see if I can find the live that I did with with the examples, and maybe make a video out of it. So, because I like to kind of put in, a video out of it, because I like to put in, video. My boss was actually suggesting, because of my nose healing so quickly, of why, like what could it be that made it heal? Because I think more people, okay, we, going to cholesterol, we don't really, a lot of people, we talk about how it's not really doing, it's not as damaging to the heart, and we're looking at the wrong numbers and all that stuff, blah, 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 blah. And I still don't fully understand cholesterol. I just understand what I see, okay? Just like any one of us. That's why putting this, because we see something. Now, if somebody else's opinion can make us see something different, then that should alter our vision, our insight on what's going on. But until then, we have our opinions, our own opinions, if that makes any sense. But, so I like to put out that video, and it's interesting that my boss, because he's actually really impressed with how my nose, in fact, on the 20th, before I do my interview with, which on the 20th of December, my interview is going to be with Lynn DeVokie, and I'm looking forward to that, Midlife Carnivore. And, but before we do the interview, I am invited to go to a Christmas party. Now, the Christmas party will definitely end before the interview. Don't worry about that. It's going to be it's going to be either 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. And obviously, as an employee, I've been invited. And he even said to me, he goes, would it be okay if I get you like a plate of roast beef or something like that? Because he knows that he's going to get pizza for everybody else. And then he's going to, and I told him, like, oh, you don't have to, that's fine. He goes, no, I want you to be able to have something and enjoy. So that's very nice of him. The same guy that actually helped me get a computer. So he's a very nice, generous guy. And, all that fun stuff, and he, sorry, I'm just looking around. Yeah. I know I should be staring at the camera the whole time, but, I'm a wanderer. My brain just kind of goes all over the place. So, these guys helped me get my computer and everything, gave me the program to do it and all that stuff. So, he's a very good boss, and I'm very lucky that he, to have him right now. So shout out to my boss, Jim, at QuickCheck. So I'm going to do that, and I don't know what's going to go on for Christmas for me. My roommate said that I'm always welcome to go with him and his family. Not sure. I hope my sister invites me this time for Christmas, but I can't assume that she's going to. I kind of thought she would have invited me for Thanksgiving, but that's neither here nor there, But it might not, in retrospect, it might not have been up to her. So you can't really, and everything. So, hold on. That's cool. So just saw this cute little dog. So yeah. So, everything is good. Just things are happening that's making me a little apprehensive, and we're trying to find answers. So that's what the blood work is for. The blood work hopefully will give us the answer that we need, and that I need. And whether it's bad or good, it's an answer, correct? So let's do that. And you know like 2025 was good for me. It started me with you guys. Well, it started with me taking a chance and going into the chats and sending an email to Carrie Mann, and it went from there. Okay, I don't know what 2026 is going to bring me. I don't know what's going to bring any of us, but hopefully the true fortune will keep on going. All right. And I'm hoping that next year will be better in some ways, and I'm hoping that next year will be the same in many ways, and I'm hoping that next year, well, I'm never going to hope that it's going to be worse for me in any ways, but I'm hoping that some ways will improve, and I'm hoping in some ways that things won't change. I don't want it to change in the way of like being with you guys. But there are things that I do hope that does get better. I don't know if I'm really ready to say what those things are, but just know that improvements, well, I can say this, I hope my diabetes improves again. I don't like the fact that I feel like it's declined again, and like I tried doing the same thing, but yet there probably were some changes that I made that might have affected, but when you don't know what those things are, that can become a problem. Like just, sometimes I think I just need to go back to what I was doing when I first started and just keep up with that, and not make the changes that people have suggested that I make. And no offense to anybody, but it's just, and I'm not blaming anybody in particular. I'm not blaming anybody at all. I just think that something is, I think there's something deep down that is affecting me, and maybe it's just a stress. Maybe it's the stress of worrying about it. Maybe it's the change in my time zone. I mean, I didn't eat in the morning, like I do now. So maybe for me, maybe eating in the morning is a problem. I don't know. Maybe I'm better not eating my first meal until like 2 o'clock and eating later on, like eating at, my guest Parisi's, usually I need to end by 6. But I mean, one of the problems I also have too is I do control myself as much as I can, but sometimes it's not always easy. Sometimes I do falter. And so I might stress eat some of the time. So if I eat early in the morning, and like say I eat at 5 a.m. and I end by 11:30, well, if I get really, really stressed by around 6, 7, I'm stress hungry. And a lot of times I can get by with just a couple of pats of butter, but there are times where I need a little bit more, and I might even go as far as going down to the pizza place and getting, a little disclaimer, I might get like some pepperoni and cheese or something like that. Or I might make myself a couple of hamburger patties, or if I have hamburger patties left over from a former meal, I might go and eat them. So, there's, and I do end up eating. I don't do it all the time. Maybe if I was going to say an average, maybe once every 10 days, that I might end up doing that. Or maybe once every 5 days, but also put in the butter for the most part. 1 in 10 days for if I do more, 1 in 5 days if I have a couple pats of butter. And depends on how much stress I have, and there's a lot of stress that goes on and everything. I try not to, but you know, I just like I have people up until May, and that's a long for it's a long time away. But the thing is you know, I want to keep it going and keep people coming on, keep people doing, you know, and you know, it's a great feeling when people think that, hey, my story is really good, but it's also a great feeling when people want to tell their stories on my channel. And, you know, and so I'm grateful for all the people that are coming on, and I'm grateful for anybody that is wanting to come on, you know. So, you know, inside the description, you know, you can get there's a link that goes right to the calendars that allows you to make the appointment. I actually had one guy that actually did it that way, and it was pretty successful. He put it on. I got the email saying that he is coming on, and he will be on. His name is Paul, and we'll be able to hear his story. If you haven't seen him, he actually he made an appearance a few times on um, Grandma's Crochet Corner, and he also has made several appearances on Bob's Carnivore Talk, Robert Engvall, and he's going to actually be on my channel. So, and so is Crochet Grandma. So, I'm going to get many people on there. Some are big. I mean, everybody to me is big, but in their own opinions, some are very, very big in the you know, in the YouTube world, and some of them aren't so big in the YouTube world. But I don't care about that. Okay, I just want you to tell your story, and let's have some fun. Let's chew the fat. That's all I want. And every time somebody comes on, it 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 widens my heart. It makes things better for me. You know, so you know, I hope that, you know, a lot of people that canceled out on me, I'm hoping it's not because they think I'm not important enough, or they think that, you know, whatever it is. I try not to take it personally or anything like that. And I have so many people are supporting me. So I'm grateful for everybody, but especially the people that show the support. Um, so that being said, you know, thank you again, Juliet and Doug, for coming on yesterday. You know, because I probably would have just canceled the show altogether. So that being said, I hope everybody has a good day today. I will be seeing you definitely on Tuesday with No Carb Barb. And I'm looking forward to your questions in the chats for her. And I'm looking forward to everything going on. So, all right. So, live, love, heal, and I hope you all figure out your way. For me, I eat the meat. See you guys later. All right, bye.